Nana Vimukta Bhakti Paramaha. Sorry, Prabhuji, this.
Yeah, you can start again.
Prabhuji, my 1 second. I got quit from my Zoom. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Should I sing in the meantime then when she comes? Eh?
Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Sorry, Prabhuji. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, please sing. Mother.
Yes, I thought you were singing, Prabhuji. Yes, I'll sing. Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur naninas tebhyo nana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nisthastataha tebhyasta pashupala pankaj drishas tabhyo api saradhika Prestha tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi tam nashrayet kahakriti.
Very nice. Yes, Prabhuji, please.
Karmibhya parito hare priyataya vyaktim yayur naninas tebhyo gnana vimukta bhakti paramaha premaika nisthas tataha tebhyastaha pashupal pankaj drushas tabhyopi saradhika prestha tadvad iyam tadiya sarasi tam nashraye kaha kruti. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. It's very melodious. It's very nice tune. So I think there is no other participants from intermediate.
Just continue, Prabhuji. Just continue.
Yeah. So we'll okay. So we'll start with the word towards synonym translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So will you be able to read, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
From word to word, right?
Yeah, word to word synonym first.
Karmibhya, than all shooter workers. Paritaha, in all respects. Hare, by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Priyataya, because of being favored. Vyaktim Yayu, it is said in the Shastra. Nanina, those advanced in knowledge. Tebhya, superior to them. Nana Vimukta, liberated by knowledge. Bhakti Paramah, those engaged in devotional service. Prema Eka Nishtha, those who have attained pure love of God. Tataha, superior to them. Tebhya, better than them. Ta, they. Pashupal Pankaja Drishaha, the gopis who are always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy. Tabhya, above all of them. Api, certainly. Sa, she, Radhika, Srimati Radhika. Preshtha, very dear. Tadvat, similarly. Iyam, this. Tadiya Sarasi, her lake, Shri Radha Kunda. Tam, Radha Kunda. Na, not. Ashrayat, would take shelter of. Kaha, who. Kriti, most fortunate. Than all shooter workers in all respects by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of being favored. It is said in the Shastra, those advanced in knowledge, superior to them, liberated by knowledge, those engaged in devotional service, those who have attained pure love of God, superior to them, better than them, they, the gopis who are always dependent on Krishna, the cowherd boy. Above all of them, certainly Srimati Radhika, very dear. Similarly, this, her lake, Sri Radhakund, not would take shelter of who most fortunate.
Yeah. Now the translation, please.
In the Shastra, it is said that of all types of fruitive workers, he who is advanced in knowledge of the higher values of life is favored by the Supreme Lord Hari. Out of many such people who are advanced in knowledge, Gnanis, one who is practically liberated by virtue of his knowledge may take to devotional service. He is superior to the others. However, one who has actually attained prem, pure love of Krishna, is superior to him. The gopis are exalted above all the advanced devotees because they are always totally dependent upon Sri Krishna, the transcendental cowherd boy. Among the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the most dear to Krishna. Her Kund lake is as profoundly dear to Lord Krishna as this most beloved of the gopis. Who then will not reside at Radha Kund and in a spiritual body surcharged with ecstatic devotional feelings, aprakrit bhav, render loving service to the divine couple Shri Radha Govind, who perform the Ashtakaliya Leela, their eternal eightfold daily pastimes. Indeed, those who execute devotional service on the banks of Radha Kund are the most fortunate people in the universe.
Yeah. So thank you, Mataji. So in these three verses, actually, the 9, 10, 11, they talks about very exalted place in Dham is Radha Kunda. And in previous verse, we studied that the hierarchy of the places, like from Vaikuntha Loka, Mathurapuri is the highest, and from Vrindavan is the higher than Mathurapuri, and then Govardhan Hill is higher than Vrindavan, and then in there the Radha Kunda is the topmost place for devotion service. So and in this verse is there is the different grades of people this verse talks about, like vikarmis, and what are the karmis, and the superior than karmis are gyanis, and from gyanis is devotees, and among the devotees is the topmost are gopis, and Srimati Radhika Rani is the topmost dear to Krishna, and her kunda, the Radha Kunda, which is surcharged with that energy, that feeling, prakrita bhav, is the topmost place, and who is not don't want to sorry, everyone wants to reside there and do the devotion service. So after reading this, we might be thinking, oh, we should go there and reside there and do our devotion service there. But how should we take this? How should we understand in the right point of view, like in right consciousness? So we will study and try to understand. So, and what Srila Prabhupada said it's quite a big purport, like not very big, but Srila Prabhupada explained nicely about those different grades of people, and we will discuss step by step. So so we'll start with the purport, and then we will take each point, and then we'll discuss on those points, right? So hold on, I'll just share it again. Where is that? Yeah. Right. So yes, Mataji, can you see that?
Yes, Ramji.
Yeah.
At the present moment, almost everyone is engaged in some kind of fruitive activity. Those who are desirous of gaining material profits by working are called karmis or fruitive workers. All living entities within this material world have come under the spell of Maya. This is described in the Vishnu Puran, Canto 6, Chapter 7, verse 61.
Yeah.
Vishnu Shakti Para Prokta Kshetragna Tatha Para Avidya Karma Samnyanya Avidya Karma Samnyanya Tritiya Shakti Rishyate. Sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and material energy. The material energy is considered to be the third class energy, the Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy. Prabhuji, can you increase the font just a little bit?
Okay, hold on. How we do that?
The three dots at the right.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Zoom option over there.
Oh.
Yes, over there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, this is fine.
This is fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll just start this paragraph from the beginning. The sages have divided the energies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead into three categories, namely the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and material energy. The material energy is considered to be the third class energy, Tritiya Shakti. Those living beings within the jurisdiction of the material energy sometimes engage themselves like dogs and hogs in working very hard simply for sense gratification. However, in this life, or after executing pious activities in the next life, some karmis become strongly attracted to performing various kinds of sacrifices mentioned in the Vedas. Thus, on the strength of their pious merit, they are elevated to heavenly planets. Actually, those who perform sacrifices strictly according to the Vedic injunctions are elevated to the moon and planets above the moon. As mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9, verse 21, Shine Punya Martya Lokam Vishanti. After exhausting the results of their so called pious activities, they again return to the earth, which is called Martyalok, the place of death. Although such persons may be elevated to the heavenly planets by their pious activities, and although they may enjoy life there for many thousands of years, they nonetheless must return to this planet when the results of their pious activities are exhausted.
Okay. Yes, Mataji. We'll stop here. So yeah. So here, first point is that Srila Prabhupada explaining the three different categories of energies. And there is a reference here, and I'll just share this as well. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrit, Madhya Lila, chapter 6, verse 54. It's the same verse that Srila Prabhupada explained. And yeah, so here it says like a three. So there are three categories of I'll just stop this sharing. Yep. So there are three categories of energies, of the Lord's energies, and mainly the spiritual energy, marginal energy, and material energy. So the tritiya, the last one, is the material energy. And living beings like us, we are comes in the marginal energy, and the superior the superior energy, the spiritual energy, is the Lord's where the spiritual realm that is made of. So the material world made of all this material energy, and because we call it margin energy, because we are comes under the influence of material energy, and we try to load it over material energy and do sense gratification activities. and we sort of entangled in the three modes. So living entities are marginal energy. So but then again, the living entity engaged in the pious activities, the fruitive activities. And Srila Prabhupada explained nicely that how executing pious activities, living entity gets elevated to the higher planets and higher facilities, but by impious activities degraded to animal life. So this is the position of karmis. So actually, the karmis is called fruitive worker. So everyone, as Srila Prabhupada's first sentence, is everyone engaged in the activities, right? So we all doing activities, so karma. So we can see people that performing demigod worships and doing pious activities for getting some good results for their deeds. But there are vikarmis are also there, so who are impious and misuse their freedoms. So in Bhagavad Gita chapter 4 verse 17, it says that the intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So karma, vikarma, and akarma. So there are three types. So in Bhagavad Gita, Lord explaining about this topic of karma. So it's three types of karmas. So the karmis are like, they are superior to vikarmis, and vikarmis, because karmis are faithful to the direction of the Vedas. So as first point, Srila Prabhupada first explained that there are three energies, and because of out of three energies, VR comes in marginal, so we get influenced by material energy, so and comes under the modes of material nature, and then because of the modes working on us, so we do those different karmas, like vikarmas and karmas, so the fruitive works, and vikarmis are the lowest, so they don't care about the Vedic injunctions, and they're just doing it according to their sense gratification, all the work. So sense gratification is the center, and whatever they do is for their sense gratification. But karmi is also doing work for sense gratification, but according to the Vedic injunctions, like doing different yagnas or different karam kands, and getting results, or elevated to the higher planets. But because they are elevated to the higher planets, but that's not permanent, so they had to come back once that they exhausted their punya karma, or the pious activities, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, given the reference of 9 point. I'll just share that again. Yeah, that one. Not that one. Yeah, this one. Tetam bhuktava swargalokam vishalam kshine punye mrityalokam vishanti evam triya dharmanu parpanna gatagatam kama labhante. So kshine punye, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that when they have thus enjoyed heavenly sense pleasure, they return to this mortal planet again. Thus, though the Vedic principles, they achieve only flickering happiness. So it's only flickering happiness they achieve. I'll just read that, it's very small purport. One who is promoted to those higher planetary systems enjoys a longer duration of life and better facilities for sense enjoyment. Yet one is not allowed to stay there forever. One is again sent back to this earthly planet upon finishing the resultant fruits of pious activities. He who has not attained perfection of knowledge, as indicated in Vedanta Sutra, Janmadiyashyayataha, or in other words, he who fails to understand Krishna, the cause of all causes, becomes baffled in achieving the ultimate goal of life, and is thus subjected to the routine of being promoted to higher planets and then again coming down, as if situated on Ferris wheel, which sometimes goes up and sometimes comes down. The purpose is that instead of being elevated to the spiritual world, where there is no longer any possibility of coming down, one simply revolves in the cycle of birth and death on higher and lower planetary systems. One should better take to the spiritual world to enjoy eternal life full of bliss and knowledge and never return to the miserable material existence. So here Srila Prabhupada mentioned and clarifies that it's like a Ferris wheel. So like going up and down. So when we doing the pious activities, we're doing all accumulating the good karmas, and then we'll get elevated. And if the vikarmis, they just goes down. So they are degraded to lower species. But in higher planetary systems, we come back again. All right. So this is the situation of vikarmis and karmis. So karmis are superior from vikarmis, because they at least following the Vedic injunctions for their fruity work, right? So we'll study further. Okay. Yeah.
Prabhuji, just a question.
Yes.
Not sure if it's relevant or not, but you said that karmis are superior to vikarmis because karmis are at least engaged in pious activities according to the Vedic injunctions. But they are still acting for sense gratification only. They're still acting for sense gratification. And vikarmis are the people who are engaging in impious activities for the purpose of sense gratification. But then what is the relationship between vikarmis and akarmis? As in, you said that there are three types of workers: karmis, karma, vikarma, and akarma. So what is the relationship between that vikarma and akarma?
Yeah, so vikarmis are like they don't care about the Vedic injunctions, and karmis they're doing the skam karma. They like for fruity work they're following karma kands. But akarma is totally different. Akarma is devotion service where you not accumulating any karma. So when we doing devotion service, so we're not generating any karma, because we are doing a loving devotion service to the Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. So that is the purpose. So for understanding, so a devotee of the Lord understands this. He understands what is karma, what is jnana, and what is this vikarma, all these. So, and then we will study that point will come further, that devotee of the Lord is what is his position,
Yes,
Yes. Okay. Right. Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Can you see that
This
now?
is the position of all karmis, including those who act piously and those who act impiously. On this planet, we find many businessmen, politicians, and others who are simply interested in material happiness. They attempt to earn money by all means, not considering whether such means are pious or impious. Such people are called karmis, or gross materialists. Among the karmis are some vikarmis, people who act without the guidance of Vedic knowledge. Those who act on the basis of Vedic knowledge perform sacrifices for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu and to receive benedictions from him. In this way, they are elevated to higher planetary systems. Such karmis are superior to the vikarmis, for they are faithful to the directions of the Vedas and are certainly dear to Krishna. In Bhagavad Gita, chapter 4, verse 11, Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiv bhajamyaham. In whatever way one surrenders unto me, I reward him accordingly. Krishna is so kind that he fulfilled the desires of the karmis and the gnanis, not to speak of the bhaktas. Although the karmis are sometimes elevated to the higher planetary systems, as long as they remain attached to fruitive activities, they must accept new material bodies after death. If one acts piously, he can attain a new body among the demigods in the higher planetary systems. or he may attain some other position in which he can enjoy a higher standard of material happiness. On the other hand, those who are engaged in impious activities are degraded and take birth as animals, trees, and plants. Thus, those fruitive actors who do not care for the Vedic directions, vikarmis, are not appreciated by learned saintly persons as stated in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 4.
Okay, so we'll stop here and then we'll read that. So here, Srila Prabhupada again explain about the vikarmis, like the businessmen. They don't care about, they just wanted to earn money by all means, So, and they don't know anything about what will happen after that, So when we really actually, because Srila Prabhupada explains that the fruitive workers or karmis do not consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, and out of which they must spend the major portion of acquiring money for sense gratification. Actually, when we think about it, that out of 24 hours, we are spending 8 hours average for sleeping, and another 4 hours for cleaning, eating, getting ready and all this, and another then 8 and 9 hours for our work or job or running around or for our job, and then whatever left, like 3 hours or whatever, and so we spend so-called entertainment or our sense gratification. So where is the time for self-realization? So there is no time. So this is the point, that those people, they don't understand, and they just think that this is the aim of life, and in that they becomes vikarmis. So all these activities are simply they're defeating the purpose of life. That's what Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, that they're defeating the purpose of life. It will come further. So this is the position of vikarmis and karmis. So both are they're not appreciated. Like karmis are appreciated, but vikarmis are not. Because at least they are following the Vedic injunctions. Right. So the reference here, yes, from Srimad Bhagavatam, as stated, that's Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 4. Yes.
Yes, Prabhuji. Should I recite the verse?
Yes.
Nunam pramattaha kurute vikarma yadindriya pritaya apranoti na sadhu manye yata atmanoyam asannapi kleshada asadeha.
Very nice.
Materialists who work hard like dogs and hogs simply for sense gratification are actually mad. They simply perform all kinds of abominable activities simply for sense gratification. Materialistic activities are not at all worthy of an intelligent man, for as a result of such activities, one gets a material body which is full of misery. The purpose of human life is to get out of the threefold miserable conditions which are concomitant with material existence. Unfortunately, fruitive workers are mad to earn money and acquire temporary material comforts by all means. Therefore, they risk being degraded to lower species of life. Materialists foolishly make many plans to become happy in this material world. They do not stop to consider that they will live only for a certain number of years, out of which they must spend the major portion acquiring money for sense gratification. Ultimately, such activities end in death. Materialists do not consider that after giving up the body, they may become embodied as lower animals, plants, plants or trees. Thus, all their activities simply defeat the purpose of life. Not only are they born ignorant, but they act on the platform of ignorance, thinking that they are getting material benefits in the shape of skyscraper buildings, big cars, honorable positions, and so on. The materialists do not know that in the next life they will be degraded, and that all their activities simply serve as Parabhav, their defeat. This is the verdict of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 5, Verse 5. Parabhavas tavad abodha jataha.
Yes, Mother. So I'll see this verse here. Yeah, this verse that Srila Prabhupada mentioned is prabhava is defeat. If you see the word synonyms, or misery. Translation is said that as long as one does not inquire about the spiritual values of life, one is defeated and subjected to miseries arising from ignorance, be it sinful or pious. Karma has its resultant actions. If a person is engaged in any kind of karma, his mind is called karmatmaka, colored with fruitive activity. As long as the mind is impure, consciousness is unclear. And as long as one is absorbed in fruitive activity, he has to accept a material body. So this is the point. So Guru Maharaj also said that every desire we have, our next body is ready. So there is another para I just want to read from the purport. Srila Prabhupada said that as long as one is interested in karma and jnana, he continues enduring the miseries of material life, birth, old age, disease, and death. Karmis certainly take on one body after another. As far as jnanis are concerned, unless they are promoted to the topmost understanding, they must return to the material world. As explained in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 7, verse 19, Bahunam janmananante jnanvan mam prapadyate. The point is to know Krishna Vasudeva as everything and surrender unto him. Karmis do not know this, but a devotee who is 100% engaged in devotion service of the Lord knows fully what is karma and jnana. Therefore, a pure devotee is no longer interested in karma or jnana. Anya bhilashita shunnam jnana karmadi anavratam. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela, chapter 19, verse 167. The real bhakta is untouched by any tinge of karma and jnana. His only purpose in life is to serve the Lord. Jai. So here, as Srila Prabhupada given this reference, so and explained that the position of real bhakta or real devotee of the Lord. So and anya bhilashita shunnam, he has no abhilasha, it's no karma and jnana anavratam. So it's no he is not interested in fruitive work and not interested in jnana, in the knowledge platform of knowledge. So and so these yeah, so the real point is here is that about we understand about the position of karmis and why they engaged it, that because of they comes in influence of the material energy of the Lord, and now we will read further about jnanis, because vikarmis and karmis we know, all right. So now vikarmis is lower, karmis is higher, and higher than karmis, among those karmis there are some people who comes on the platform of knowledge, and they call jnanis. So they understand that why if you perform fruitive work, then you have to come again, you have to get the material body. And so they are transcendentalists also, but they are again they are not perfect, so they are impure, their knowledge are impure, as Srila Prabhupada will read further. So we read that para also. Hold on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yep. Yes, Mother.
Yes. One should therefore be eager to understand the science of the soul, Atma Tattva. Unless one comes to the platform of Atma Tattva, by which one understands that the soul and not the body is one, and not the body is oneself, one remains on the platform of ignorance. out of thousands and even millions of ignorant people who are wasting their time simply gratifying their senses, one may come to the platform of knowledge and understand higher values of life. Such a person is called a gnani. The gnani knows that fruitive activities will bind him to material existence and cause him to transmigrate from one kind of body to another. As indicated in Srimad Bhagavatam by the term Sharira Bandh, bound to bodily existence. As long as one maintains any conception of sense enjoyment, his mind will be absorbed in karma, fruitive activity, and this will oblige him to transmigrate from one body to another.
Yes, Mother. So here is that point that Srila Prabhupada is saying. So one point here is to understand is that the nanis, they come to the platform of knowledge. So what knowledge? That we are not this body, we are spirit soul. But this doesn't mean that if they come to that platform, it doesn't mean that they are they are liberated, but they are not liberated in the sense they are not because they're not performing devotion service. So they have to come back again still. So by knowing this or realizing this fact that we are not this body, we are spirit soul, on its own is not enough. So we have to go further, because the real devotion service is above all of these platforms. So jnanis, they are above than karmis, but in this sense they are impure. So because they are on platform of knowledge and understand the higher value of life, they know fruitive work will bind them to material existence and cause the cycle of birth and death. But still their knowledge considered impure because no information of devotion service. So their aim may be merged into Brahma Jyoti or Paramatma realization in the heart, but because of neglecting the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, they are not perfect. They may think themselves liberated, but actually they are not, and will fall down in the material enjoyment because they have no knowledge of devotion service. So this is the flaws of that platform of knowledge, or the jnana platform, jnanis. So this is we'll just read another para of this is about the jnanis as well.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Thus, a gnani is considered superior to a karmi because he at least refrains from the blind activities of sense enjoyment. This is the verdict of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. However, although a gnani may be liberated from the ignorance of the karmis, unless he comes to the platform of devotional service, he is still considered to be in ignorance, avidya. Although one may be accepted as a gnani or one advanced in knowledge, his knowledge is considered impure because he has no information of devotional service and thus neglects the direct worship of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Yes. So we stop here. Yes, Mother. So this is the point that because they're not directly worshipping the lotus feet of the Lord, and they think they want to merge into Brahma Jyoti or doing something else or whatever their aim is, and although they are transcendentalist. So transcendentalist means they know this, that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. But that is the flaws. So till here we can understand who's vikarmi, and that's the lowest. Karmi is the second, is the highest, and the highest than karmi is jnanis. So and then it will come the devotee or devotional platform. The people who out of this there is a word here in this verse is called jnana vimukta. It says jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha. So the person who's jnana vimukta bhakti paramaha, the liberated by knowledge, those engaged in devotion service. So they are the higher than jnanis. So we will read that half of that purport next week, and we'll discuss about the devotees, and among the devotees who are the highest devotees, and about Radha Kunda, and those aspects of the other part of this verse. Now, any questions till now about to clarify?
Yes, Prabhuji. Just clarifying that this point that you said that Gnanis are still their knowledge is imperfect because they don't have knowledge about the devotional service, but they still refrain from sense gratification
Yes.
because they no longer identify with the body and with the soul now.
Yes. So they are they perform austerities, they perform different practices, like yogis and meditators, and they all they perform these kind of austerities, but still, because and they understand that if they perform sense gratificatory activities, they have to come back again, because they are on that platform that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. But that is on itself is not enough.
That's right.
We have to
So
come
they
back.
are
Yeah.
yes. So they are considered transcendentalists still.
Yeah.
But not okay. And another just question. I read this line there that karmis who are performing Vedic performing sacrifices as per Vedic injunctions to satisfy Lord Vishnu, they are still dear to Krishna.
Yes.
They are still dear to Krishna in some way, but not the Vikarmis. So just because I've never heard this line that karmis are dear to Krishna because they're still acting in line with
because they're still performing according to the Vedic injunction, according to the instructions, but they do. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, avidhi purvakam. So they're doing it avidhi purvakam, not proper way, because demigod worship says avidhi purvakam. So they are not doing it in the right way. So they are still doing it according to the Vedic injunctions. And in that way, Krishna says that they are still there, because people who don't care about God, they are atheist, or they are sense gratificatory focused on sense gratification only, and they are the lowest. So they are the people lowest in this ladder. So in that sense, Krishna says that. So now I think last week you asked a question about sadhana and sadhya, and we requested to Amrish Prabhu to to answer that, but last week he didn't have much time.
Yes, Prabhuji.
And I requested to post it on the intermediate group, but maybe some reason you didn't do that. But can you ask that again? Or first of all, I wanted to ask Amrish Prabhu. Prabhuji, is it all right to do that now, or we still got like 7 minutes?
Yeah, Hare Prabhuji. I think we should have a good habit of putting it on the group.
Yes, Prabhuji, yes.
Maybe we can do that next time, like when if you have questions, and just put it on the group, so we can take it in the next session, and Amrish Prabhu also have time to prepare for that.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, definitely.
All right. So
just one more point, if I may, on the Gnanis.
Yes,
so Gnanis are basically philosophers, impersonal philosophers, and you're correct. It's a mixed breed of a lot of things. Even meditation people are called Gnanis too, because they think, they philosophize. But generally, they are just philosophers. You have Aristotle and all those philosophers to think about what the world is, what the metaphysics are, etc. And they may or may not fall into the category of meditation practitioners and all that. But it's a mixed breed of things, as I said. Yeah. But they overall end up in the concept of impersonalism. This is very important to understand. Personalism is an aspect which is very, very confidential. Yeah. So yes, that point I just wanted to add the dimension to that. That's where they are the impersonalists. The end is what they think.
Mm.
Yeah? Mm.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, many times even Mayavadis are also philosophers. It's a potpourri of a lot of things. Especially in India, you'll find this thing. Just wanted to say that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Ambrish Prabhu. Yes, yes. It's a hodgepodge at the moment. Like people, a whole lot of breed, as you said, that meditators and they also philosophers and they all mixed, and they all fall into that category, Gyanis. So Gyanis are, they are superior to karmis, but still it's a flaws in their philosophy, because of impersonalists, Mayavadis. So if no more questions, so we can stop here because we can prepare for the next class.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's 5 minutes. We can take a little break and we'll come back in at 6 o'clock. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.